video reporting which use is a thunderstorm. What is thunderstorm? A thunderstorm is a rain shower during which you hear thunder. Since thunder comes from lightning, all thunderstorms have lightning. Why do I sometimes hear meteorologists use the word convection when talking about thunderstorm? Usually created by surface heating, convection is upward atmospheric motion that transports whatever is in the air along with it, especially any moisture available in the air. A thunderstorm is the result of convection. What is a severe thunderstorm? A thunderstorm is classified as severe when it contains one or more of the following: hail 1 inch or greater, winds gusting in excess of 50 knots, 57.5 mph, or a tornado. How many thunderstorms are there? Worldwide, there are an estimated 16 million thunderstorms each year, and at any given moment, there are roughly 2,000 thunderstorms in progress. There are about 100,000 thunderstorms each year in the US alone. About 10% of these reach severe level. That's all.
When are the thunderstorms most likely? Thunderstorms are most likely in the spring and summer months and during the afternoon and evening hours, but they can occur year-round and at all hours. Along the Gulf Coast and across the southeastern and western states, most thunderstorms occur during the afternoon. Thunderstorms frequently occur in the late afternoon and at night in the plain states. What kinds of damage can thunderstorms cause? Many hazardous weather events are associated with thunderstorms. Under the right conditions, rainfall from thunderstorms causes flash flooding, killing more people each year. Hurricanes, tornadoes, or lightning. Lightning is responsible for many fires around the world each year and causes fatalities. Hail up to the size of softballs damages cars and windows and kills livestock caught out in the open. Strong up to more than 120 mph straight line winds associated with thunderstorms knock down trees, power lines, and mobile homes. Tornadoes with winds up to about 300 meters per hour can destroy all but the best built man-made structure.
How does a thunderstorm form? Three basic ingredients are required for a thunderstorm to form: moisture rising, unstable air that keeps rising when giving a nudge, and a lifting mechanism to provide the nudge. The sun hits the surface of the earth, which warms the air above it. If this warm surface air is forced to rise, hills or mountains or areas where warm or cold or wet dry air bump together can cause rising motion. It will continue to rise as long as it weighs less and stays warmer than the air around it. As the air rises, transfer heat from the surface to the air to the upper levels of the atmosphere. The water vapor it contains begins to cool, releases the heat, condenses, and forms a cloud. The cloud eventually grows upward into areas where the temperature is below freezing. As thunderstorm rises it into freezing air, different types of ice particles can be created from freezing liquid drops. The ice particles can grow by condensing vapor and by collecting smaller liquid drops that haven't frozen yet. When two ice particles collide, they usually bounce off each other, but one particle particle can rip up a little bit of ice from the other one and grab some electric charge. Lots of this collision build a big region of electric charges to cause a bolt of lightning, which create the sound waves we hear as
The thunderstorm life cycle. Thunderstorms have three stages in their life cycle: the, the developing stage, the mature stage, and the dissipating stage. The developing stage of a thunderstorm is marked by a cumulus cloud that is being pushed upward by a rising column of air or updraft. The cumulus cloud soon looks like a tower, called towering cumulus. As the updraft continues to develop, there is little to no rain during this stage but occasional lightning. The thunderstorm enters the mature stage when the updraft continues to feed the storm, but precipitation begins to fall out of the storm, creating a downdraft, a column of air pushing downward. When the downdraft and rain-cold air spreads out along the ground, it forms a gust front or a line of gusty winds. The mature stage is the most likely time for hail, heavy rain, frequent lightning, strong winds, and tornadoes. Eventually, a large amount of precipitation is produced and the updraft is overcome by the downdraft, beginning the dissipating stage. At the ground, the gust front moves out a long distance from the storm and cuts up off the worm. What does a thunderstorm look like? Thunderstorms can look like tall heads of cauliflower, or they can have anvils. An anvil is the flat cloud formation at the top of the storm. An anvil forms when the updraft from a rising has reached a point where the surrounding air is about the same temperature or even warmer. The cloud growth abruptly stops and flattens out to take the shape of an anvil.
Our topic is about floods and flash floods. Floods is a natural incident in which a dry area or a dry piece of land suddenly submerged underwater. It simply means too much water everywhere, even around our houses. Flooding is a very dangerous. The overflowing water carries along up to like houses, furnitures, trees, farms, animals, even people. Sometimes it carries all city. The natural behavior of water as it moves from higher ground level to lower ground level. This means the lower ground is more likely to experience flooding. So what is flash floods? Flash floods are defined as those flood events where the rise in water is either during or within a few hours of the rainfall that produces the rise. What is the difference of floods and flash floods? Flooding is a longer-term event than flash flooding. It may last days or weeks. Flash floods, a flood caused by heavy or excessive rainfall in a short period of time, generally less than 6 hours. Well, my co-members will explain the causes and effect of floods and flash floods with an example.
Causes of floods and flash floods. Heavy and prolonged rain is the most important causes of floods and flash floods. The amount of water becomes so much that it begins to flow over the river banks. Collapsed dams are also another causes of floods and flash floods. When dams break, they unleash torrents of water on unsuspecting households. Blocking of river channels by landslide and silting of riverbeds also leads to floods and flash floods, because in such a situation, water goes on collecting a large volume, and when it finds its way, it assumes the form of floods and flash floods. Excessive melting of ice and snow on the hilltop due to hot weather also leads to the flooding of rivers. Climate change caused due to human activity also add risk of flooding. Humans cut trees in a large number, thus affecting the process of photosynthesis. Thus, increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere causes changes in climate posing threats of natural disaster like floods and etc. Sometimes, storm at sea, strong tides, and cyclone may cause of flooding. Many human activities like overgrazing, deforestation, and paving of very large expanse of land areas increases the chance of surface runoff, ultimately leading to floods and flash floods.
What are the biggest effects of floods? More than 2 people worldwide were affected by floods, and that number continued to climb as occurrence of major flood events become more frequent and severe. Floods, especially flash floods, can devastate entire cities and urban environment. Throughout history, many have lost their lives as a result of rapid floods. And one of the biggest consequences and effect of floods is that people lost their home and property, and essential building and infrastructures such as hospitals and elderly homes are left incapacitated. Loss of power and mobile communication is a common occurrence during floods. People who live in regions close to rivers, in winter climate and prone to monsoon seasons, are significantly more vulnerable to floods. Floods can have huge economic repercussions to a region, as, as extreme weather events impact key industry and sectors: fishing, food crops, health, and tourism. Consequently, there's been high rates of mass migration and population displacement over the past few decades, causing overcrowding in urban cities and expanding the urban poor.
Rasalme M. Aga. Um, Example of flood and flash floods. Severe flooding and caused by atmosphere. Condition that lead to heavy rain or the rapid melting of snow and ice. Geography can also make and are more likely and flood. For example, area near river and cities are often at for flash flood. Flash flood is an overflow and water into land that is normally dry. That's all. Thank you.